Okay, I've got a 2020 F-150 here. Anywhere from 15 to 20 should be about the same. Somebody hit my door, so I had to replace the door. Luckily I found one. Probably gonna have to buff it out, clean it up a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's not dented like that guy right there. So you can see I've already pretty much got everything done. I'm burning daylight, but I figured I'd make this video to try to help out anybody else who has to deal with this, because I didn't see any videos on any of this. Seen front windows, no, none of that, and none of the doors. So real quick, if you got to change out this piece, which with the replace the new door that I found, this piece has got to get changed because mine is shiny. It's not the regular plastic. I had to change. I'm going to change out the window because I don't feel like going somewhere else or going to retint my windows. It's another $80, $90, depending on where you're at, to do it. I don't feel like doing that if I can replace the window if it's easy. It wasn't easy for me because I've had to figure this out, but now that I figured it out, it's not so bad. So if you need to replace this because somehow mine broke, and down the road I'm gonna have to change mine too, but the window comes out way easier with all this stuff out. I already had a video with me showing this, but I missed a bolt. So when you pull this off, or first, before you pull that off, sorry, you've got this thing here that sits up in this. Hopefully it's not going to be too much of a bear, but getting it back in. But I'll post both videos of me pulling it out and seeing what it looks like. But once you pull this piece out, it's going to make this coming out much easier. You bring the windows down, you push on these tabs, and then you can, once you get the window free of those tabs, you can pull up and out. If you got to change out this, and this comes out so much easier with this out. There's 4. That's why I'm making another video. I said 3 in the last one. I missed the one because when I did it first time, the window, I had it all the way down to give myself more room, and then that didn't work. So I started messing with this. So there's 4 bolts here. This whole thing will start to come off. In order to replace the door, everything's put back, but it's a bear because you got to pull this piece of trim, that piece of trim, and this piece of trim, and you have to pull this guy out to unclip this one to take it away. Now I'm sure there's a way to disconnect this thingamabob down here, but I wasn't going to fight with that. I don't want to get too much into it because you'll have to remove the seat belt depending on how yours comes, because mine came with new hinges and I didn't want to risk mine other ones being bent, so I replaced it from here on. This one up top is easy. This trim comes off. There's a little bit of foam inside of this, and it's easy to deal with. The one on the bottom, not so much. There's a bracket with 2 bolts that holds the seat belt in place, and then there's one, then you got to pull the seat belt up and out of the way, and that's where you can get to these 2 bolts. When you pull this door off, there's like a guide knob right here. It doesn't screw out. You just got to work it out. Another pro tip of my own discovery. Once you put the door back on, shut the door and have somebody hold it, push it up and get it nice and tight. Then come inside and tighten up your bolts on the back side of your door. And then you repeat the process. But anyways, just wanted to run through all of this really fast before I lose daylight and I'm totally screwed out here. So I hope this helps, and good luck to anybody who has to deal with what I'm dealing with.